Welcome to Richer Scale Modelling. This is part 13 of the Hachette HMS hood scale 1 to 200. Now, as you can see in this part, I'm going to try and get through quite a lot. There's quite a few issues here, as you can see. There's 9 I'm going to be doing, but a lot of these issues I've got just one part in them. So I'm planning on doing the decking for the upper deck and putting in the railings. I'm also going to be preparing some of the ammo boxes and things like that, so I'll be just getting everything ready for the next steps as well. So let's jump into this and see how we're going. So jumping straight in, I'm starting off with issue 75. I've already primed the decking plates on the sprue for this. There's a few of them on various parts, issue 75, 76 and 77. So I've done them all in one go. I'm using PVA glue or white glue to spread over the area where it's going to be bonded. Put a liberal amount here, and the first deck plating goes in. It was a nice little fit, easy enough to line up. Now the instructions say don't actually cement it at this time, but I needed a starting point to make sure I got everything in alignment. So I decided to cement it now, and it worked out okay. So now I'm trying to fit in the other pieces and just pointing out there, and I'm just taking my pencil and marking out where each piece goes. That's so I'm not covering the whole deck in any glue ball cement. And then it's time to fit each piece of the decking within the markings I made. It fitted in really well. There was no issues whatsoever. I have to assemble some more hose rails. I'm using my bending tool just to bend the foot edge parts. They're very small, as you can see. I tried zooming in, but it was just all blurry, so I have to put the best angle I could get with them. So like I did in previous issues, I'm making up the hose, and I'm just simply coiling around some wire around the cocktail stick, cementing as I go, and this is going to create the hose reel. Once everything was dry, it's just a simple case of cutting the hose to the length of the bracket and placing them in, secure them with a little bit of super glue. So the next step is issue 18. All the decking in that was issues 75 to 79. So this issue is just dealing with ammo boxes and things like that. So all I'm doing here is I'm just going to prime these first of all. And I have 2 issues to do with this, 80 and 81. So I'm just showing you the difference here. They're very small parts, but there's a few of them to get on with. To prime them, I'm just using a bit of card here and securing them with a little bit of plasticine on a board before I spray prime them. I'm going back to the deck and using Revo Aquacolor 74 gunship grey for the deck colouring. I wasn't sure whether to go darker or not, but like everything, it's down to personal choice, I think. Then I'm using Revo Aquacolor 57 grey, and this is for all the little ammo boxes. Now that the primer's dried, I'm just laying down a thin coat of this colour. I will later on put some more markings on them, but for now it's just the base colour going down. And now I'm just taking my pencil and marking out the deck lines on the plating that I placed on. I did think about using an oil wash or something to do this, but to be honest with you, because it's a dark colour, graphite works really well. So these parts here are going on the decking. They're 57 Revo Aquacolor. These parts are the ladders and windows, and I'm doing these in 43 medium grey, which is the same colour as the hull. And once they're dry, I'm just placing on the hatches. There's only 4 of them, just little things that go directly onto the deck. Onto issue 82 now, and this is the sidewall running up to the prow of the ship, and 2 on the supporting plates for the deck. So as before, I'm using Revo Aquacolor 43 medium grey as the colour, Now remember, these are only base colours. I will be tidying up as I go along. You know, I may have to sand down and so forth, but I like to get a base colour on first of all. So I'm putting on the same colour on the side wall of this as well. This will form part of the, I think it's one of the gun mounts on it. Could just be a rail, I'm not 100% sure. Before I place the sidewall on and cement it all together, I have to bend it into shape. And this is fairly easily done, just pushing it in around the mould of the deck in here to get the fit. And then once I'm happy with it, it's just simply a case of cementing it in place and holding it. Next to go on is the supporting decking plates that just fit onto the side here and runs level obviously with the deck. And now it's on to issue 83. Again, I've primed all these before starting working on them. As I said, it was easier just to prime it all in one go. And these are for the gun mounts and the handrails and safety rails that run along the side of the ship. So we have two issues to deal with this, issue 83 and 84, but I'm only going to be showing 83, maybe a little bit 84, time allowing, but it's all basically the same on each side. First of all, on the gun mounts, it's 43 medium C grey, and this is just for the walls of the gun mounts and outer surface as well. And for the deck area, it's 74 gunship grey by Revel Aqua Colour. So it's the same colour as the deck, just running all the way through into the gun mounts. So I lost a couple of the deck supports. These are the two things here. There's actually 4 of them and they just popped off. So I'm going to have to deal with that now. I've taken a marker stick, just laying it inside, and then I'll be using a pencil just to get a mark where I'm going to be for the level that needs to be fitted to. And then I'll simply take that as my line on all 4 of them and mark them all up. The reason why I'm replacing all 4 is because I do want them to look the same, even though it's not the actual parts, and I've got 2 of the original parts still. And then just simply cut out a wedge on each, a little step. And that's all there is to it, just to make these little supports. Nothing fancy at all, just a matchstick with a little wedge cut out of them. And I'll just give them a coat of paint of the same colour that I've been using for the whole 43 medium grey. And once they're dry, I'll just pop them in. It's quite easy to go in, a little bit awkward, but a set of pliers going in one direction, the other one in the other direction secures them to the sidewall. And once they're dry, I'm just using my sprue cutters here just to cut off the excess. And the sprue cutters are good to use here because they lay parallel to your deck and you get a nice flat line. And also I'll do the same on the other side. The camera's got a bit weird there, but you can see the last one getting cut. So now it's time to place in the 4 gun mounts, and like the decking, it's a fairly simple process. Just putting a little bit of PVA glue into the area, and then it just fits straight in. It's fairly simple. There's no problems whatsoever in it. I just had to make sure that it lined up with the contours of the ship. I'm now using once more Revel Aqua Colour 43 medium grey, and this is all for the railings that I pre-primed earlier on. So everything's getting a liberal coat of that. Again, I will need to paint these after everything's complete. But as I keep on saying, I prefer doing it this way because then I know exactly how I'm working, and because I don't use an airbrush, it's easier to get your brush in at this stage. So now going on to issue 83, and as you can see there, I'm just highlighting again the railings and so forth that need to be done. Now, doing these railings were a bit tedious actually. Each one had to be bent in position, and then there was a little supporting vein had to be cemented into each little part of the run. This took a long time to do because the parts are just so very small. But once all the little veins were on, it was time to assemble the rails. I just picked a side and started working my way along the side. The instructions basically give you more of a guide than instructions how to do this. So it's just picking your starting point, really. Just going to fast forward this part. These side railings all go on the same way. The only thing to note is the decking does have slightly deeper grooves in it for the sidewalls to fit in. But it was just a pain putting them all on, adjustments here and there. Before I close up the video, I should point out as well, I forgot to do it on one side of the build, but if you put a bit of masking tape on one side of the sprue before cutting off these very small parts, this will stop the part from heading in every direction if they snap off the sprue. Now, there's nothing more frustrating than trying to find a tiny little bit of metal photo etch part when the carpet monster gets a hold of it. So I'll just cut off one run here, then you can see it coming off. But this will bring the video to an end. If you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds, or indeed for this build. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of all the updates, including this one. Hit that like button, and of course leave a comment. But for now, thanks for watching, bye bye.